Hi, it's Saturday the 28th of November and we're back again. Something I've got in my hand that I want to just share on very briefly, porridge oats. In theory, all porridge oats are gluten-free. In practice, most porridge oats are processed in a factory that deals with other grains that contain gluten. So if you're really gluten sensitive like Joe is, he's not celiac but he's extremely gluten sensitive, then you will react to oats like this, Flahavens, which is gluten-free in theory. Brilliant stuff, that's my favourite porridge, I eat it all the time. 500 grams, 4 packs, £11.50 from Amazon. Joe's tried this, it makes him swell up and it makes him ill. Not saying there's anything wrong with it, because it's perfect for me, but if you're extremely gluten sensitive, it's worth knowing. This one, Bob's Red Mill, which Joe is not at all reactive to, is totally gluten-free, certified gluten-free, and processed in a factory that doesn't deal with any other grains that contain gluten. So if you really have a problem and you're struggling to find the right oats for you, we would highly recommend this. This one, 4 packs at 400 grams is £14.50. You can get it on Prime from Amazon. It's very different and I can tell the difference because I'd made porridge one day, took Joe's bowl instead of mine and immediately realised because normal porridge oats or the Flahavens is very gloopy and yeah, just how I like it. This is not as gloopy or gummy and you can tell the difference and it makes you realise that often there is going to be gluten in things, like there can be traces of nuts in things where there shouldn't be, purely because of the processing in the factory. And I think it's really important to highlight that because if you've got a nut problem, like Joe has too, oh it's such a problem that boy, but if you've got a nut problem and you suddenly eat something and react to it, it isn't until then you necessarily look at the ingredients. I remember one day Joe ate a protein bar, immediately reacted to it, and he's like, what was in it, Joe? It was supposed to be...
It was like a cookies and cream flavour.
Cookies and cream flavoured protein bar. 1% peanuts. Why the hell do you need to put 1% peanuts in a cookies and cream protein bar? We didn't know it was there, we hadn't read the ingredients, we made an assumption and we got it wrong. But it's enough for somebody who's got a problem to react to. So yeah, I just wanted to share that about the porridge because in theory all porridge is gluten-free, but what it's about in practice is where it's processed. So yeah, that's that. We've had an interesting week. Thursday morning I think it was, I was cleaning the bathroom after we both had showers. Joe was in his room and I heard him say, have you got water running fast somewhere? Have you turned the shower on? I said, no, I'm just finishing cleaning the bathroom. Oh, so he walked out of his bedroom, turned left, walked into the kitchen and the water met him. A pipe had burst under the sink. The mains water pipe of all pipes had burst, just like that. And this just shows how things, you're never prepared for these things. So I did my usual routine. I ran around like a headless chicken going, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? And then I did all the right things and Joe did all the right things. He turned the water supply off. But you know, if he hadn't been here, I wouldn't have had a clue how to do that. I was so grateful that I don't keep a lot of junk under my kitchen sink anymore because he was able to just pull things out, drop them in the sink, turn the water supply off. But you know, within that 3 or 4 minutes, the whole of my kitchen was flooded and the water was heading into the hallway. There must be a slope on the bungalow because it missed the lounge by a few inches. But just talking about never being able to be prepared for every eventuality. In life, you know, I talk about so often reacting to things and eating over things. You can't prepare your life and be so well organised that these things are never going to happen. I mean, we're lucky, we got a good plumber who lives 15 miles away. He came within 20-25 minutes. But the thing that struck me more than anything is sometimes, you know, I think maybe God has a hand on my life because up until Monday or Tuesday, we were going out walking between 7:30, 8 o'clock every morning and we'd leave at 8:30, but we were always out walking before breakfast. We changed our routine this week and started walking after breakfast because it's so cold, so dark and it's been so wet this week. On Thursday morning, this happened at about 8:20. usually we would be out and we wouldn't be back before 10 or 10:15. If this had occurred when we were out, which it could very well easily have done, the whole of our bungalow would have been flooded. The plumber said this. He said, thank goodness you were here, because the water, honestly, we've got reasonable water pressure in the bungalow, but I've never seen water come out at this kind of pressure before. But of course it was coming from the mains. And it just struck me, you know, if this had been the previous week, we could have been a couple of miles away from home. By the time we'd walked back in, the water would have been coming out to greet us. I would have wanted to eat over that. I would probably have eaten over that. I would probably still be eating over that, because it's outside of my control, and I'm not a person who copes very easily with things that are outside of my control. I'm a control freak. I like to be in charge. So, you know, it happened, it's resolved, problem sorted, and I didn't eat over it. And that for me is a massive thing, right? So that was the biggest drama of our week. There've been one or two others, but that was the biggest drama of my week. I want to go on now to talk about what I said last week about would anybody like to make a suggestion as to how many calories Joe burned in 33 minutes on the new air bike. We've had quite a lot of suggestions, and some of them made me smile, because when I made a guess, I was way out. I was thinking somewhere around 600. I was way out. But was I way up or was I way down? I was way over estimating. Joe's fit, he's slim, he has a healthy BMI of around 21 probably, 21 and a half, something like that. He's 6 foot tall, he's used to lifting weights, and he's active. And in 33 minutes, he burned 295 calories. How many times have I heard on videos, I'm not necessarily talking Slim and Well, but videos on YouTube, I went for a 20-minute walk, I burnt 600 calories. Had my phone in my handbag, I did a walk, I burnt X number of calories. I went on my bike, I burnt X number of calories. I think so often we overestimate, because it gives us that freedom in our mind to then eat those calories back. Well, I may be only speaking for myself here. But let's be realistic in future about what amount of calories we can burn as either a very unfit or a very fit person. And I think I'm right in saying, Joe, aren't I, that the fitter you are, the fewer you burn?
Yeah.
So if you are in good shape, or you've got yourself into good shape, you are going to burn less calories as a fit, healthy, slim person. Like when I first started walking at 22 stone and I was doing me like 100 yards or whatever, and then I built it up, and I probably could burn a reasonable number of calories going for a good walk. Now I have to walk a lot faster and a lot further to burn a reasonable amount of calories, and then I'm not burning mega calories. So I walk to keep myself supple, I walk to keep my joints moving, etc., etc. I do not walk to lose weight, and I do not walk to compensate for overeating. So who won? Well, we've got two winners. We had several people, all ladies, who got quite close, but our two winners are Monica, who said 290 to 300-ish, and Valerie Crumpton, who said 300. So they were both within, well, Monica covered it because she said 290 to 300 and it was 295. Valerie was 5 calories out. So if both of you could drop me an email on Janiac, JANIAC 7 at googlemail.com, we'll organise getting a £10 Amazon voucher to you each. Right, weight this week. Where am I at this week? I weighed in on Friday. My Slimming World weight this week was a maintain at 9 stone 6.5. That's fine. I'm happy with that. What can I say, Joe? It's been an okay week, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been a week where we haven't particularly cooked anything out of the ordinary. We haven't bought anything out of the ordinary, except we got some gorgeous red pears in Marks and Spencer's. And we've both developed or decided we have a passion for navel oranges again. It's that time of year when navel oranges are back in the shop. And at the moment in Marks, you can get 2 bags of 6 for £4. So I don't think 12 big oranges for £4 is out of the way. £2.50 for 6 or 2 bags for £4. And they're luscious and they've got no pips, which is why I eat them. And they peel reasonably well. I mean, I peeled one the other day in one piece. So, yeah, that would be our recommendations this week. Look to get some colourful fruit into your plan. So, lovely, lovely oranges, not the pale looking ones, and red pears. So, one or two things we've spoken about this week when we've been out walking or been sitting with a cup of coffee, I've jotted down, and Joe's just going to tell me the headings, and we'll just have a little quick discussion on each of them and what they mean to us. So, have you got them, Joe?
Yeah. So, are we ruled by our brains or our guts?
Are we ruled by our brains or our guts? This is interesting because we've said in previous videos that we believe the gut is the second brain. It's scientifically out there. The gut is the second brain. And I know for me that when I eat off plan and eat sugar and eat rubbish and bring chocolate back into my life and things like that, I am definitely ruled by my gut, not my brain. I don't know what you think on that, Jay.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the other way round, because I think it's my gut tells me I'm hungry. My head wants to eat chocolate
Because
to satisfy
it's
it.
easy.
Yeah, because it's easy. Yeah. I think your brain's more likely to self-sabotage itself than.
Then you gut.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what about once you've followed that brain thought and you've indulged in chocolate or something, what takes over then? Is it still the brain that makes you want to keep going, or do you build up cravings because you've indulged and put a substance into your gut that shouldn't be there?
Yeah, in a way, I think both. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
initially you'd say...
But initially, I think the spark comes from my head, not my stomach,
Right.
not my gut.
But you used an interesting word there because you said when you're hungry. And that's one of the things I am so thankful for. I am very, very, very rarely hungry. I mean, I'm talking about next to never. I'm not... That's a different way of life for me today from the woman who was always hungry. I think the food I eat today satisfies me so well that I am just not hungry. I like that. So next one, Joe.
Okay, do you follow needs or greeds?
Oh, I follow greeds. I am a very greedy person. And even if I say I'm not hungry, which I'm not, if somebody stuck something in front of me like, you see, chocolate's the first thing that comes into my head. Like something I know that is indulgent, like a chocolate cake or something, yeah, just something indulgent like that. If somebody at Christmas stuck a box of Quality Street or something in front of me, it wouldn't be needs that made me eat it because I'm not hungry. I don't need that kind of food. But the greedy side of me would always want it.
Yeah, I think in those situations it is usually a greed thing. No one needs chocolate and sweets and stuff like that, do they? It's just a
greedy thing. And are you
impulsive
one
greed.
of the people like me, Joe? Or I mean, I'm a person who once I start, I can't stop. So I couldn't just open a box of Quality Street and take 2 or 3. I would have to keep dipping until the box was empty.
Yeah, it's that funny thing, isn't it, where it's like you've kind of blown it, so oh bloody hell, I might as well totally blow it. No, what's that thing you say? I might as well be hung for a fat
Oh, I say that's
sheep
not being
or
hung
something.
for a fat sheep as a fat lamb.
Yeah.
But my thing is like crazy because I would look at a box of Quality Street and I quickly know the ones I don't like. So I'd eat all the ones I do like. And then I'd be like, oh, well, like you say, I've blown it, so bloody hell, I might as well carry on. And then I'd eat all the ones I don't like, but I'd eat them by not chewing them very well because I don't really want to taste them because I don't like them. And that's the insanity, isn't it,
Yeah.
of the whole thing.
We spoke about something the other day as well, where it was like, if you're looking for an excuse to come off plan, I'll say like, oh God, I need a break.
Yeah.
Do you really need a break, or am I just greeding a break? Because really, if you're having a break from, say, Slimming World or something like that, does your body really need a break from healthy food?
Good point. Yeah, if I ever said I needed a break, then that's a warning sign, because I love the way I eat today. I love the plant-based way I eat today. I love the Slimming World way of eating, whether you choose to eat meat or not, I think it gives me safety boundaries, it gives me security, it feeds me well, and it gives me a balanced diet. And if I need a break from that, something going on in my life that is, I'm looking between the camera and Joe, but there's something going on in my life that's not right, because why would anybody need a break from something that was good for them to go into something that is bad for them? And we say I need a break, and I think often that is a sign that we're bored. And if I'm feeling bored, I'm bored with the food I'm eating, then all I have to do is change it up. There is so much choice out there, and it's very easy to fall into the rut of having the same meals every week. If you're like me and now doing click and collect shopping, it would be really simple to just, rinse and repeat, wash, rinse, repeat, and order the same food every week, so that I was always eating the same meats or the same cheese or the same pasta or the same rice or the same noodles or the same lentils. And yet all of those things that I've just mentioned, the rice, the noodles, the lentils, the cheeses, the meats, there's so much variety in all of those categories that you never need to be eating chicken every Saturday or minced beef every Monday or fish every Friday. Or even if you are eating fish every Friday, you could have bass one Friday, you could have cod the next Friday. But what do? We get settled into that Slimming World groove, and we get more and more and more limited in the variety of food that we're eating. And when we do that, we then very soon resort to diet mentality. And I think in me, I very soon get fears of other foods. I mean, I went through a lengthy period where I was fearful of eating carrots, because I'd convinced myself they were so high in sugar that they must be fattening. Now I've thrown caution to the wind under this plant-based thing, and I think if it says it's free or it says it's speed, I can eat as much of it as I like. And even my lunch yesterday, Joe, the number of potatoes I had in my lunch yesterday, because I absolutely adore rice pipers. At one time, I would not have eaten a tenth of that amount, because I'd have been thinking, oh no, carbs. But now I eat until I'm satisfied. I know the difference between being stuffed and being full, and I stop when I'm full. But I also know the difference about being accepting of food and about being fearful of food. That's something that's come quite lately. But yeah, good point there, Joe. Next one.
Well, my phone's locked itself.
That's because your mother talks too much.
When is gluten-free porridge actually free?
Oh, we've done that.
Yeah. No. That's it.
No, I'm sure there was one more.
Oh, no. How many calories? Who is the winner? Is exercise able to compensate for overeating?
That's it.
Oh, I thought
I
you'd already
sort
kind
of touched on that, but that was, for me, that was one of the big things we talked about this week. Is exercise able to compensate for overeating? Now, one of the things Joe and I both like, and I never used to, was Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And you look at the size of one of those tubs. I mean, I don't know, what are they, about a pint?
Yeah, they are a pint.
They're a pint of ice cream. And most of them average around 1,200 calories. Now, that, swapping between a Ben & Jerry's ice cream or what would be my favourite ice cream, tub of flake ice cream. And looking at that sort of thing at 1,200 calories, which is probably 80% of the calories I should be eating in a day. And then imagining that there is any way I can burn off 1,200 calories that immediately wipes out that tub of ice cream. I don't think the body quite works like that. I don't think the body understands that midnight last night to midnight tonight, and I'm going to have X number of calories and then start again tomorrow. It's an ongoing thing. And if I keep doing stupid things like overindulging in something for an extra 500, 800,000 calories or whatever, and conning myself that I can pull it back, well, what am I doing? I am just conning myself. I hear that phrase so often in group and in videos. I can pull it back. I've drawn the line. And in our heads, or in my head, it's almost like I believe that this very moment is a fresh start. And I think that puts me under amazing pressure to say, back here, you were being bad. This moment is a brand new start. Over here, you're being good. I put myself under unnecessary pressure rather than saying Slimming World has allowed me to make subtle changes over a period of 5.5 years that are teaching me something and accepting the fact that I don't always get it right. Because nobody's perfect. Nobody. I don't care who does Slimming World and how brilliant they are. I mean, my consultant is an amazing woman, but I think if she was standing here now, she would say, I'm not perfect. And I'm not perfect. And Joe's not perfect. We all make bad decisions. But I think what I've needed to get away from is saying, this is a fresh start. And then 2 hours down the line, making a poor choice and thinking, I've blown it again. It's a learning curve, and it's a very subtle curve. It's not like that. It's a very subtle curve. And if you pick up 1 or 2 good habits along the way that you can choose to continue, that's what makes a difference. Because I've always said about, I mean, I say things over myself. I'll say, I am a greedy person. I am an all or nothing person. I'm speaking all this stuff over myself as if I want it to be a reality, whereas I should be saying, I tend towards being a greedy person, but I am actually working on getting away from that. I tend towards being an all or nothing person, but I am working on getting away from that. Because that is not the ideal way of living my life. It doesn't serve me best. And I think, yeah, can exercise compensate for overeating? I would say definitely not. What would you say, Joe, as somebody who does exercise?
No, definitely not.
Because if I said to you, right, here's a tub of Ben and Jerry's, now work it off. Or you've got to work it off before you can eat it.
How long would I be at that? That'd be like 2 hours, 3 hours.
Of really pushing it on an air
pushing it
bike.
on an air bike, yeah.
You couldn't
Which I couldn't do. No, I couldn't do.
you
30
couldn't.
minutes is enough on that.
Yeah. And if we had to, if we sort of, all of a sudden we're faced with a, I don't know, a cheese and onion sandwich on the counter in Tesco, and we think, I want that. And we'll work out how many calories it is, but before you can eat it, Jane, you've got to earn it. I'd leave the sandwich on the shelf because I don't want to have to earn it, and I certainly don't want to have to pay back after I've eaten it, because I know I can't. So there are occasions in my life where I'm learning sometimes it's better just to leave it alone. Just to leave it alone. Anyway, that's my day. That's what I've got to share with you. And we'll be back at some point, hopefully next weekend. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Bye.